Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? Appreciate you guys for coming through. Sorry for the delay switching over to the live screen, but I noticed that I did a spelling error on the title. I said rented crash, but it's Renton. Renton. So this is a deadly crash that happened in Kent, out in the Seattle area, and we're going to talk about it because, I mean, these things happen, but there's something about the reaction of the victim's family that pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie to you, and it's not supposed to piss me off because they did absolutely nothing wrong. These people did absolutely nothing wrong, and they have every right to feel however they want to feel. But we're gonna talk about why I got pissed off with the victim's family, the 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 family of the mother and two daughters who lost their life due to the reckless action of an 18-year-old young man. Then we're gonna talk about Jenn Soto. We're going to talk about the fact that I believe this lady belongs in jail. Jenn Soto. See, I meant to say Jenn Soto, and then I put Jenn Soto. So what the hell's wrong with me? Like, I just changed it to Renton, and I messed up the spell check on it. You know this, guys, when you're like moving super fast, these things are going to happen. So we definitely want Jenn Soto. We know who she is. We've been covering this for a while. So it's not like I don't know who I'm talking about or whatever. So I apologize for that. Let me go ahead and just fix that right now because I don't want to look like an idiot to the internet. Somebody's like, "What? Why should I click on this guy's show? He doesn't even know how to say her name." But when you're writing really fast, Google does its own thing. And I'm over here multitasking to the best of my abilities, so I apologize, guys. So I just changed the title. It should be coming across correctly now to the interwebs. We'll see how that works out. But anyway, thank you, W. Smith, for bringing that to my attention. I definitely meant to say Jenn Soto. So then we'll talk about Jenn Soto. We'll talk about the fact that I believe wholeheartedly, guys, and you guys know when I talk about stuff related to sex, crimes, this is my bread and butter here, okay? This is my bread and butter. This is how I pay the bills, okay? This is what I'm trained in. This is what my life is experience. I've been doing sex crimes investigations since I was 22 years old. I'm over 40 now. Think about that. Been doing sex crimes investigations since I was 22 years old. I'm over 40 now. So when I tell you guys how I feel about these, I'm telling you with a lot of authority behind it. A lot of experience locking folks up who have done these things, a lot of experience dealing with district attorneys and state attorneys, and even in some instances, federal attorneys, because I've done cases with the federal government before, the Justice Department. Most recently, if you've watched the show for a while, you'll know about the case that I sent to the federal government for sex trafficking and CP. It was all mixed in one. I can't go into details, obviously, because it's an open and active case, but that individual is in custody and is facing 40 years in prison. And since the feds are involved, they will do every single year, day, hour, minute of that time when they're found guilty. How do I know they're going to get found guilty? Because it's my evidence that I gave to them because that person was a foreign national that they're now using to get that person. And how did we get that foreign national? Because that nasty son of a bee, he was scot-free. He got out the country before I could get him. But he didn't know that I was after him. So he bought a plane ticket to come back to the US of A so he could get some more of that child. And that's when we got his ass at the international airport. And now he's in federal prison and he's facing 40 years in prison. So what does that have to do with Jenn Soto? It's everything to do with Jenn Soto because I'm telling you from my experience, my expansive experience in this sector, that she knew what Stephen Stern was doing to her child. That's my opinion. I have to say that because I don't want Jenn Soto, I don't want her not to get charged for whatever reason. And then she falls upon this show and then she decides she want to sue me. I don't have no independent knowledge of her case, her daughter's case, Stephen Stern's case. No independent knowledge. I'm not involved in that investigation. I'm not a Florida law enforcement official. I don't have any friends down in Florida who are leaking me information. It's not happening. I'm not that big of a YouTuber yet where people start feeding me stuff. I'm just telling you based off of the evidence that I've seen so far, evidence that you all have seen, from the things that she has said out her own mouth during police and media interviews. I'm telling you that it's my belief that she knew what was happening to her daughter. I'm telling you from my experience dealing with these type of victims, Madeline Soto victim, that is, and I shouldn't even be leading off with this. I'm supposed to be talking about this whole Renton crash, but screw it. We'll go where the show take us, okay? Since he was abusing that child at such a young age, evidence is showing it could have happened between 8 and 10 years old when this thing started. Remember, they're basing the start date of the abuse based off of the earliest pictures and videos of abuse that they were able to obtain from his phone. I think that's a mistake. I'll tell you why it's a mistake. It's a mistake because these type of predators, they move gradually, very methodically and gradually. Even the abuse is methodical and gradual. The abuse is mixed in with reward. The abuse is mixed into with indoctrination. So what am I talking about here? And I might get a little visual, and I apologize for some of you who are watching this, but this doesn't affect me because I've already been desensitized. And this is how we talk in our offices when we're investigating these cases, when we're talking about these cases. This is how we talk. So since you're watching this show, you are investigators too, and we're talking about this case. We're investigating this case. You guys are all investigators. You're all detectives when you're watching the Strategic Guys show. So the abuse starts out, it doesn't start out with penis to vagina, penis to anus, penis to mouth. It doesn't start out that way. It always starts out with touching. These folks rationalize it like, well, I touched her and she didn't say anything, so she must have liked it. That's how their minds work. That's how they're able to rationalize doing this to a helpless human being, a child, where we're supposed to be programmed in our brains to protect these beings. But when you have somebody with a corrupted, sick mentality who then derives pleasure from these beings that we are supposed to be programmed to protect, they have to rationalize it because their desires run counter to society. Even though their brain is screwed up, they are aware that this is taboo in society, that this is against the rules, this is bad, this is terrible. So they have to rationalize what their brain is telling them is good against what society is telling them is bad. So they start off slow. It starts off with touching. When it gets to, and then there may not be a pushback because the child may not understand that that touching is not good. So then you go from the touching to the actual conduct. And that usually is paired with reward. So I don't know if you guys were able to see it, but through diving into this case for so long, I forgot what channel actually came out with it, whether it was Law and Crime or whoever, might have been an independent channel. They actually transcribed one of the videos that they got off of his phone. And in the video, he's telling her, come and put my penis in your mouth again, and you can have the iPad. That's the reward. Do oral sex on the predator, and then you'll get the iPad, which is the reward. The child does not understand that this is wrong. Now think about this happening for years, prepubescent. Prepubescent, this is happening for years. By the time the child gets into puberty at 11 and 12, this behavior is normalized. The behavior is normalized. The child thinks the behavior is okay. The child may even seek out the behavior because remember, we're human beings. Our bodies have certain receptors. If you're doing certain things and you're stimulating certain organs, endorphins will fire in the brain. So if it's unknown to you that this is taboo, this is against the natural order of life, this is evil, what is happening to you, but you're deriving some form of pleasure from it, you might seek it out. All this does is buttresses in the mind of the predator that what they're doing is not wrong. Well, how could what I'm doing be wrong if she likes it? How could I do what I'm doing be wrong if she came in the bed with me? If she asked her mother to sleep in the bed with me? If while in the bed with me, she initiated contact? How could I be wrong? It buttresses the sick, demented viewpoint of the predator when in all actuality, the child has just been indoctrinated into this grotesque lifestyle of abuse. But then comes the tipping point. And the tipping point is usually puberty, teenage years. When kids now see, before that, kids are being introduced to the concept of sex through their parents and through their loved ones in terms of don't let nobody touch you. If somebody touch you here, that's inappropriate. Something might come on the TV where people might make love or kiss and the kid might get a glimpse of it and they might ask a question and the parents are going to say, well, this is the stuff that adults do when they love each other and it's something that you should only do when you're mature enough to understand it and da-da-da-da. Those kind of questions are being answered by parents. So if you're a sick, demented person and you're using that opportunity to indoctrinate the child into a demented, abuse-oriented sexual orientation, or orientation into sex, rather, then that child is going to have a demented view on what is appropriate when it comes to sex and adults and sex with children. But when that child now gets into teenage years and now they start talking about sex amongst each other, that's when the child starts consuming more adult material, news, where they start hearing about adults preying on children, etc. That's when the child starts realizing, hold on here. I think what has been happening to me is wrong. Hold on here. I think I've been lied to. Hold on here. My body is changing and I don't like what's happening to me anymore. It feels wrong. I heard my friend talking about something that happened on the news and I saw how disgusted my friend looked when they spoke about it. I heard about this person whose dad went to jail for doing this to them and how hurt they are. Hold on here. I think I may be a victim of something. And I think that's when the defiance comes, where it's like, I don't want to do that anymore. Where they'll have arguments. Go wash the dishes. I'm not washing the dishes. You can't tell me what to do. What do you mean I can't tell you what to do? I'm your stepdaddy. No, you're my abuser. You're lucky I don't tell the police what you did to me all those years. The threats start coming out. And that's when you end up with a dead Madeline Soto. I think there are two reasons why Madeline is dead. It could be either or both. It could be A, that Madeline threatened to tell multiple times probably. It could be that he is a total sociopath, which you already have to be a sociopath to do what he did. But he's a total sociopath and pedophile that once she grew out of the prepubescent age where he was actually attracted to her, true pedophiles, true sociopathic pedophiles, they usually get rid of, they either distance themselves or they get rid of the child when the child is no longer pubescent and is attractive to them sexually. So it could be A, she got older, she threatened to tell on him, or B, because she was no longer a prepubescent child and she was now a teenager, that he got rid of her because he no longer needed her. It's terrible. But there are monsters among us. Now, how does this come back? I know it took a lot of time to kind of explain the psychology of these folks to you. I think it was important to explain that to you. But how does that come back to Jenn Soto? It comes back to Jenn Soto because everything that she did was contrary to what any of us would perceive a mother would allow to happen under her roof with her child. It comes back to Jenn Soto because there's no way that a man could be having full-blown sex with your daughter in the room right next to you and you not know. There's no way that you would relinquish your bed to your daughter so that she could sleep with your boyfriend, not her dad, your husband, or whatever, with your boyfriend, so that you could go sleep in the living room on the couch while your daughter sleeps in the bed, the relationship bed, mommy and daddy's relationship bed, with her stepfather. Excuse me, not even stepfather, your boyfriend. Remember, words and titles have meanings, ladies and gentlemen. Words and titles have meanings. If somebody is your husband, that means you went to a church, denominational, non-denominational, whatever. You performed a ceremony. You got a license. And now you're married under God and under the state. Or you went to the state. You don't have to do it the religious route. See, the religious route is a twofold because you can get married in a church. It don't mean nothing. You got to get a license too, in America at least. So if you go to religious route, you're getting two certificates. You're getting a marriage certificate from your religious institution, and then you're getting a marriage certificate from the state or a license from the state. If you don't want to go that route, then you got to go through the state. That's the only one that really matters at the end of the day, and you get married. Then you can call yourself husband and wife. You cannot call somebody your husband or your wife if you have not been legally married. You cannot call a man who's in and out of your life, on and off relationship, the stepfather of your daughter if A, the girl has a alive and participating father. Because people acted like Madeline Soto's dad wasn't involved in her life. He was. Just lived in a different state. Would you blame him now for not living with Madeline Soto and Jenn Soto? Look at Jenn Soto. Aki's a new member of Strategic Eyes Show. Thanks for reading up your membership, supporting the channel. Erica B is in the building, another member of the Strategic Guys. David is in the building, another member of Strategic Guys Show. Giving a big shout out to all my folks who are Strategic Guys members. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for supporting the channel as you guys do. You can't call him a stepdaddy. She had a daddy her entire goddamn life. Now it appears that her conception was probably a one-night stand. It appears that Madeline's father, and I don't know the truth, I'm telling you what my speculation is. This is all speculation right now at this moment. Madeline's father got married 2 months after Madeline was born. I suspect that either A, he met a woman and they got married relatively quickly, or B, and it's still the same woman he's with today, or B, he cheated on her by having a one-night stand, or maybe they were separated or something like for a brief moment with Jenn Soto. There was no love there. There was no relationship there. There was nothing there. Instantly, she was a single mother. How any guy could be attracted to this woman, I don't know. I don't want to be mean. I'm sorry, but she's a very unattractive woman to me. Whatever. Some people say, strategic, you're not the most handsome guy on the planet. That's like your opinion. Doesn't matter. It's what I think, and I feel like she's not attractive. Instantly, the guy skated off. The child came into the world, and he was a part of the child's life. Why on earth would you allow your daughter into the bed of another man? I don't know. I believe wholeheartedly that she knew what was happening. They always say birds of a feather flock together. My mother always says that. When I was growing up, she always would say that notion. Birds of a feather flock together. Everybody who spoke up saying that they knew they knew Stephen when he was a kid, all have said he was a sexual deviant. Aki said for me to review the police body cam. If you could find a police body cam and send me the link, I'll review it right now. The problem is that the only place I can find it is on Law and Crime, and they keep interjecting with their commentary. So I don't want to jack their commentary, and I don't want to just play their video. If you could find it somewhere else, drop the link in the chat. We'll copy and paste the link. We'll go view it, or email me the link, something to that effect, and we'll go ahead and we'll review it. That's your homework, Aki. Get to work. Everybody who said they knew this kid said he was a sexual deviant. One guy told the story about how that guy's father almost shot and killed Stephen Stern. How did he almost shoot and kill Stephen Stern? They were friends for a while. Stephen Stern started getting really weird, saying weird things like he would piss in jars and collect his pee. These are signs of people who are schizophrenic and severely psychotically disabled. So he started backing away from Stephen. One day, his mother was in the bathroom changing, and she noticed somebody outside of her window peeking at her. The father went outside with his gun, pointed the gun at the peeping Tom, and discovered it was Stephen Stern with a camera trying to record his friend's mother while she was in the bathroom. The father threatened him, gave him a stern warning, let him know how much he almost died, and sent him on his way. How many normal people do things like that? Kids are young, they look at porn books and stuff like that. How many of them go stalking their best or ex-best friend's mother, trying to take pictures of her while she's in the bathroom? Who does that? But a sexual deviant. There's other stories of him setting up webcams inside of the shared home that he stayed in with his friends, recording his friend's girlfriend naked, etc. This dude is a dirty, nasty freak. There's other stories of him dating underage girls. One, I think she was an Asian girl or something like that. She might have been an exchange student who was a teenager. He was in his 20s and he's dating her, etc. She's now married with kids. She doesn't want to comment on it, but other people are saying, yes, it was her, and she was underage. She's an adult now, but at the time, she was a child. This guy has a history of sexual deviance. All right, so I just got the I'm gonna go ahead and copy this, email it to myself, and then I'll be able to pull it up. We're gonna go through. We'll go through the body worn camera, and then after that we'll do the chase, and then we'll talk about Trump. After that, I recently said that I'm going to be voting for Trump, and I got a lot of pushback for that. Not crazy pushback. You guys are great, but there's questions that I need to answer because some people just don't understand. Like, hey, you got to do what's best for you. You got to vote who's best for you, and just because somebody else doesn't agree with who you want to vote with for, it doesn't mean anything. You vote for who you want to vote. You let other people vote for who they want to vote. All right, so I just sent the email. I don't know what's going on, and my email is not it's like delayed, but we're gonna, here we go, it came in. All right, so let's bring this up. Pause this. Okay, so we got the Jenn Soto body worn camera. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Big shout out to Guilty of Crime. Aki said I should do a show with her. I would love to. I mean, I'm down to always collaborate with people. I heard she's got a good channel. I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe to her channel right now. Let me go ahead and bring this other screen in here so you guys can see me do my business. So we can get ready and rock and roll this. All right. So let's do that. All right, so there we go. So this is Guilty of Crime. Please go ahead and subscribe to Guilty of Crime. I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe right now. Boom. All right, and we're gonna do what we're supposed to do. We're gonna set all those notifications for all, so you'll get all those notifications. So when she drops a new show, I will be notified of it, and I'll have the opportunity to actually check that out. So I implore you guys to do the same thing for the Strategic Guys show. Make sure that you're not just subscribed, but you also have your notifications set to all, so that when I drop a new video, you're notified. And I can tell you one thing about the Strategic Guys show. I'm so busy that I don't drop a crazy amount of content. So you're not going to get notifications every single day from my show to remind you that I exist. And that gets really annoying. That's why a lot of people don't do the notification for alls, because they're in the movies, they're making love to their loved ones, they're eating dinner, they driving, and the phone is bring, 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 because you got 1,000 YouTube channels notifying you. That's not my channel. I drop maybe 1-2 shows a week. I don't do a lot of community tabs, only once in a while. You're not going to get notified from me 1,000 times. But if you don't do that, the chance of you seeing my show again is very slim, because the algorithm does not like me, and it sinks me to the bottom of the pile, and it doesn't automatically notify you when I drop a show unless you actually want to be notified by hitting that all in the notification. So make sure you do that, and you'll stay on top of the Strategic Guys show. So if you guys want to see a collaboration between me and Guilty of Crime, I don't know how to reach out to her. So if you could reach out to her, if anybody knows how to reach out to her, tell her, hey, yo, the Strategic Guys show would love to do a show with you on the Madeline Soto or whatever topic you're interested in, and definitely get a collaboration going. It looks like she got a really good channel. All right, that being said, let's go ahead and do a walkthrough and see how her mannerisms are. It's not that bad. It's 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
When I talked to them, they said it looked like 5 or 6.
5 or 6 kids at the park. All right, give me a second, bro.
Hey,
go ahead.
Let me finish up with this and I'll give you a call.
Are you able to pick up call 931, please?
I'm currently working possible Signal Lake. Can I hold off on that?
Is that from the other one?
26.
Yeah, so the CAD is really old, and the CAD is basically the system that sends the jobs to your patrol car. So definitely they're working with an old system. Let's keep going.
Sorry.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Do they speak English?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
This is mom.
This is mom? Okay. Hi there.
I gotta go catch him here.
Look at these motherfuckers. Look at this dumpy ass woman. I'm sorry. I'm being so ghetto right now. I'm so sorry. When I see her, I hate her, yo. I know she has something to do with this, man. I know it. I know you are guilty. If these Florida authorities do not charge you with something, I am going to be so pissed off, because at the very least, she should be charged with endangering the welfare of a child. It is the duty of a parent to protect their child. And if this guy is raping this little girl and you're in the next room, you are guilty even if you don't know that it happened. And I dare say that if you are an honorable person, you'd say, you know what? I should be charged. I should be charged that I was not able to protect my child. She needs to be charged with something, but let's keep going.
Hey there.
Hey there. What's going on?
So my daughter was dropped off close to school this morning.
First of all, right? Look at her body language, right? I know that the body-worn camera is off a bit, right? But the body-worn camera is not 5 feet away from the officer. As you can see, the camera, this is one of those departments where they wear the body-worn camera on their shoulders. So the camera's here. Why is Jenn Soto's eyes all the way over there? She's not cockeyed. No disrespect to anybody who's cross-eyed or cockeyed. She's not cockeyed. Why is she looking this way when the officer is this way? Like, if she's looking at the officer, it looked like she's looking at the camera, because the officer's face is literally 6 inches away from the camera. Why is she looking in the corner? Deception. She's pulling for the story. She's pulling for the words. She's looking for the words. That's what we say inside of the business. You look up, I'm searching for the words. I'm looking for the words. I'm trying to get my story right. I'm looking everywhere. Let's keep going.
Morning, but never made it. I went to pick her up from school.
I'm sorry, one second.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Are we looking for another kid, or we have a kid?
Looking for another one.
Good.
Alright, so people are still on the scene, let's put that out in the hospital location. How long?
So, you know, my hypothesis is absolutely correct, because now she's looking at him. Now you see her actually looking at him. Yeah, let's go.
I'm trying to get there right now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
So she was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today,
Okay.
and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here, because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. I came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed.
Why is he just holding the phone there? You see her talking to the cop, bro. You know, most normal people would just hold the phone, because she's obviously talking to the cops. It's really weird, but let's keep going.
I got an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher, and he looked at her and
All right, so him standing like this is clearly that he's guarded. All right, he's guarded. He's looking at her. He's studying what she's saying. He's concentrating on what she's saying, because he has to mimic what she's saying, right? He has to make sure his story matches what she's saying. And I believe that their story is rehearsed, because there's a lot of lies that she says in her stories. I don't know if she's going to say it in this body-worn camera interview, but it was her. I heard it through other interviews, etc., because it's my first time watching this. For instance, she said that she saw her daughter at 8 before she left. That's a lie, because Stephen Stearns, early 7 in the morning, was already throwing Madeline's belongings into the trash behind the apartment complex. At that time, she was already dead. He was just disposing of her belongings. Why would he throw her belongings out while she's still alive? That doesn't make any sense. He killed her, then he threw her belongings out. He threw a book bag and all that stuff out. So how can mommy see her at 8:30? How can mommy see her daughter 8:30, 8:45, and correct Stephen Stearns on what the daughter was wearing? Correct her on what the daughter was wearing. So now you are saying definitively you saw your daughter at that time. But that's a lie. Your daughter was dead. She was already dead. So how could you have seen her? How would you have known what she was wearing and seen her if she was already dead? Unless Stephen told you to say that. Unless that was the plan and the story that you both agreed to, that makes you an accessory in my book. That makes you accessory in the law after the fact. But let's keep going.
Entire attendance today and saw that she was completely not at school today either.
Okay.
So she never made it.
Okay. What's her name?
Madeline. Madeline.
Madeline. Last name?
Soto. Soto.
Soto.
Yeah.
Date of birth?
February 22nd, 2011.
February 27, 2000.
22nd,
Oh, sorry. 22nd,
2011.
2011.
Just had her 13th birthday.
13.
Charlie Worldwide. What's the name of the signal aid?
Madeline Soto, age 13. I'm trying to get a clothing description now. What was she last seen wearing?
Washington County, Charlie Worldwide. People hit my call 931. It's the same call.
Green hoodie.
Green.
First of all, there's something called putting your radio down a little bit. Like, you're doing a very important interview. At this point, it might just be routine. Like, okay, it's a missing kid. The kid might turn up. The kid might be at a boyfriend's house, might be at a girlfriend's house. We don't know, right? But, listen, I'm not saying nothing I ain't never do myself, all right? 1,000,000 times. I've taken missing persons reports 1,000 times. Thankfully, I believe, to my knowledge, all of them ended up being found unharmed or whatever. Some of them I have not followed back up on, so I don't know. But the ones that I know about, everybody came back safe. Great. I'm happy for the families. But aside from missing persons, I've done assaults, DVs, murders. Oh, man. Sexual assaults. I even rolled up on an attempted rape and stopped it. Right there, arrested the guy on the spot. That was a big one when I was on patrol and all that good stuff. All right. Bottom line is, what do you do when you're talking to a person? Put your radio down. Even if your boss is calling you on the radio, he could fucking wait. No disrespect. He could wait. All right. He's like, oh, there's another message. That's not important. Okay. Getting the story is important. When you're done, follow back up with folks. If it's an emergency, they'll call you on the phone, whatever. You get there, you're like, I'm about to speak to the victims. Give me a second, whatever. You let them know. The fact that his radio is so freaking loud, and then these folks, let's say these people really were victims and they had no part in the death of this child. Think about how annoying that would be, that you're trying to explain to cop this pertinent information, and you got to stop every second because his radio was blaring. Like, come on, man. Let's have some professionalism. But anyway, it turns out these people are monsters anyway, so who cares? And everything that they're telling them is a lie. So, yeah, once again, who cares? But we know that in hindsight. But I think it's good practice to show some respect to the people you're providing service with, and put that radio down and give them your full attention. That being said, let's keep going.
White Crocs.
White Crocs.
Either blue or black pants.
I think black shorts.
Black shorts.
Yeah.
All right, so she just corrected him. She said, I think black shorts. She just corrected him. How can she correct him? She said in subsequent interviews that she was asleep, that she had worked the night shift and she was asleep, and she let him take her to school. How can she correct him when she said she saw the kid at 8? But he's already on record on video camera throwing out the baby's stuff 7 in the morning. Unless they have colluded. Unless this sick bastard was able to find him a sick woman, and both of them were abusing this child. That's why she told her friends, when I turn 13, I want to run away and live in the woods. That's why she told her friends that, because mommy and daddy are sick, dirty pedophiles, in my opinion. Can't sue me, it's just my opinion. And now that things went too far and you killed this child because she no longer wanted you both diddling her, because women do it too. They diddle too. Now you both got to get your story right. Now you both got to get the story right to try and buy some time. Did you think you was going to get away with it? You don't watch TV? You don't watch YouTube? You don't watch Grizzly True Crime? You don't watch the Strategic Eye Show? You don't watch Law and Crime? You don't watch court TV? Don't you know you never get away with it? Don't you know we were going to find that child? Don't you know that we were going to arrest you? They knew it. They just wanted to bide their time. And if this case ends without this woman facing a charge, I think that will be the true tragedy of this whole story. Fate dictated that Madeline had to die. It was outside of our hands. There's nothing we could have done to stop it. If it wasn't Madeline, it probably would have been somebody else's child. But we as man, we have the power to bring both of these people to justice. And if justice stops with Stephen Stern and does not extend to Jenn Soto, this will be a miscarriage of justice. Let's keep going.
Black shorts? Okay. Black shorts. All right. Do you know if she has like friends in the area?
She does, but she doesn't know where they live.
She doesn't know where they live. Okay.
I asked all of them.
Okay. Is this like, does she like have any places that you guys know that she'll usually be at? Any friend's house? Any places that like she likes to hang out?
Not typically, no.
No.
Not typically?
No.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. Let me see if I get some.
Thank you.
No problem. And what school she goes to?
See that little girl right there? That's what Stephen Stearns likes. That's what he like. She probably would have been the next victim.
Hunters Creek Middle School.
Hunters Creek Middle.
And I'll tell you this right here. Rain just made an excellent point that I made from day one. From day one. I'm sorry, I forgot my own point because we cover so much here on the Strategic Guys show. We haven't been back to the Soto case in a little while. But I want to commend you for making this point because not that many people are making that point. And I am on the record of making this point. I'm on the record on this YouTube channel of making this point. The point is that there's a third reason why she might have died. Other than her no longer being sexually appealing to Stephen Stern and then he got rid of her. That's one. The other one is her. She's now a teenager. She now knows that what has been happening to her is wrong. And now she's threatening to tell the police. That's number two. The third one, which at the time was my number one, but we're just going to put it with 3, is the excellent point that Rain made, is that she was pregnant. And I think that is probably the most logical conclusion, but unfortunately they have not released the full autopsy yet. They're keeping that under wraps. And that will be the only way that we're able to tell if it's true, if there was a child inside of her uterus. That would have been the absolute perfect reason for a sick, demented sociopath, psychopath to want to get rid of this little girl because she was pregnant. Remember, these guys, prepubescent, they're having unprotected sex with these children because the children are incapable of having children. The transition now comes to puberty. They make mistakes. The children get pregnant. Now they got to get rid of the kid. It's terrible. Very good point, Rain. Appreciate you for sharing that. Let's keep going.
All right, cool. 125.
I mean, his information was kind of lacking. That was a very rudimentary, basic interview. I mean, it seems to be more to it. There's like 2 more minutes, so we'll get back to it. But, you know, does she have a cell phone? What's her cell phone? Do you have a picture of her? What is the most up-to-date picture? Can you send me that picture? I didn't hear him say any of that. What are the names of all her friends? I still would take their names and their phone numbers down. The mother said, I spoke to them and she doesn't know where they live, but you didn't get their names and their phone numbers so you could speak to them for yourself. These are things that I think this officer could have did a better job at, you know, kind of like getting that information in the database so that whoever's looking for her, whether it's him or detectives, they'll have that information readily at hand. I'd also want the information of all the people who are in that room, all of them. Who's grandma, who's auntie, who's cousin? When's the last time you seen her? Let me speak to you guys alone. Did she ever talk about having any issues at home? Did she ever say that she's being abused at home or something like that? These are the questions that I would ask during this preliminary investigation to try and determine if we could locate her before tragedy strikes. But let's keep going.
Do you have a picture of her?
Ah, there we go. See? Listen, I told you. Like, it is what it is. I know it. This is what I do for a living, right? So, okay. So he comes back in because, I messed up. It's a faux pas. I messed up. I ain't even get a picture of her. Good job.
Can you airdrop it to me?
Yeah, I know. Let me see which picture. I don't know which picture.
Anything recently, probably from a birthday party, right?
All right, so tell me how this sounds, right? Your daughter's missing. You've called the police. Why is it so hard for you to find a picture? You should already have a picture ready to go. Most people would already have that picture ready to go. Most people would say, hey, do you need a picture of her? And look at him. He's intently looking at her. Not just, I don't think he's looking at her in terms of, what are you saying or what are you doing? I think he's looking at her phone. We got to ask ourselves, did the local police get her phone as well? There's a possibility her phone might have stuff in it too. So, but you just can't take her phone. You have to be able to articulate that her phone was involved in a crime so you could get a search warrant for it. But I think her phone, like, look how she's just going side by side. Like, you could see it, that she's just scrolling side by side. She goes to one side, then goes back to the other side. Your daughter's missing. You're going to know where your picture app is. You're going to have a picture ready to go. Let me show you guys again. So pay attention to her phone. I think you guys can see it. Watch.
Yeah, I know.
Right,
let me
left,
see which picture. I
left,
don't know which
left,
picture.
left, left again, left,
Probably from a birthday party, right?
Yeah,
left
I wasn't
again,
there, so
left
I don't know
again,
that.
right.
What's up?
This is a home screen. She didn't even get to an app yet, like to say that she's sifting through pictures. She was sifting through the home screen. Now she finally gets into a picture app, and this is your teenage daughter. You should have 1,000 pictures of that child. 1,000 right off the gate. Now she's scrolling. Down, up some more. We're still waiting.
Go ahead. That's
We're
how
still
I'm about to
waiting
get
for a
right now.
picture.
Yeah.
And look how fast she scrolls through them. Like, I can't let you see that picture. That picture's inappropriate. Can't let you see that picture. Picture's inappropriate. Flying through those pictures.
All right, cool. Thank you.
And as Rain said, as we spoke about this at the beginning of the live, the body language. He has not moved with his hands crossed since the cops have gotten there, unless he had something literally functional he had to do, like take a phone. He took a phone, answered a phone call for Jenn Soto for a quick minute. They always return to that resting position like this. Always return to the resting position like this. Guarded. Everybody else, these are people who are blood kin to Madeline Soto. They're hugging each other. Their hands are to their sides. They're sitting calmly. He's the only one no more than 2 feet away from Jenn at any moment. Hands crossed. Never wavering, never moving, unless he has to do something functional with his hands. guilty as sin. Then the phone tilts up. She tilts the phone up so that the police officer can't see it. It's obvious, ladies and gentlemen, that there is disgusting things on that phone, in my opinion. In my opinion. I have no evidence of that. This is just my opinion. There are disgusting things on her phone as well. I wholeheartedly believe she is complicit in the abuse of her daughter. I wholeheartedly believe it was not just him. It's not just the absence of knowledge with her. She's not guilty because she did not do enough to protect her child. I think she was in on it. I think she participated in with it. I believe so. She may have watched. She may have touched. She may have done things or had things done to her. It could be little things like part of the grooming process is her having intercourse with him in front of the child when she was 8, 9, 10 years ago to groom her into believing that that type of conduct is okay. This is not something that Stern did on his own, in my opinion. Let's keep going. Definitely hit that like button, please.
Is this a good enough picture, or do you need a whole
Yeah,
body
that's
picture?
perfect.
Okay. How do I airdrop? I don't know how to do it.
I got you. Okay, where's the photo? Right there.
It's on WhatsApp.
That's fine. This is it.
I saved it to my photos, so you could go.
You saved it to your photos?
Yeah, we can just
Perfect.
go straight to the photos.
Look how she's moving. It's like, she's very apprehensive. Like, don't go. And she's giving clear instructions. I save it to my photos. She doesn't want him to navigate anywhere else in her phone. And look, her hand was stuck like this because she's apprehensive. It's kind of like, do I take my phone back real quick? I'm telling you, something on that phone. Watch that again. Again, look at her hand. So she gives it to him exactly in the picture she wants him to have. Now watch this.
It's on WhatsApp.
That's fine. This is it.
I saved it to my photos, so.
Look at her hand.
You
Look
saved
at
it
her
to your
hand.
photos?
Yeah, we can just
Perfect.
go straight to the photos.
Look at her hand. Apprehension. Look at her face. Look at her face, ladies and gentlemen. Look at her face. You see that? Look at her hand. Very apprehensive.
Give me a second. I'm going to send it out right now to my other guys.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Ooh, look at this one. It says ex-roommate speaks out. This one.
Hello, everybody. This is Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back. So
Oh,
today,
shoot. You're guilty of crime. She ain't playing, man. She got the ex-roommate and all that stuff. This one better have a lot of views. Okay, 23,000 views. Good for you. All right. So first of all, we got that first video from Guilty of Crime. I saw this pop up at the end of that video. I want to play a little bit of it. So please go to Guilty of Crime. I'm going to go ahead and hit that like button on her channel. I've already subscribed to her channel and set all notifications to all. Please go support her channel, subscribe to it. All credit goes to her. All right. And I'm just going to skip through and see if I can find where this interview happens. Because I don't want to be just jacking somebody's shit, you know? Let's see here. It's popping.
major, there's a lot of things that I would have avoided. So just
The
it doesn't go away. But it's how you cope.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the what ifs will haunt you for life. So,
Right.
yeah, it
Was it because Maddie?
All right, let me go back here.
the very beginning of 2018.
Mhm.
'Cause
Okay.
I
And
left
he,
June 2018.
and
Around
remember everybody, in June is when the pictures started coming from the phone, when you look at the records, I think June 17th, and I can go back and look at my timeline, is when we started seeing pictures. So this ex-roommate moved out in June of what you said, 2019 or 2018?
18.
18. And that's when the pictures that the police recovered started coming, and they have that in their record. So on to the next question. We got the timeline straight, and I'm so glad that you were not there when that was happening, because I know that you already like feel guilty and you carry that. And
Well, I'll tell you this. I absolutely believe she was there when it was happening. She just didn't know. And she's a roommate. You can't expect much from roommates. Roommates are doing their own thing. But this just does not start happening where you start taking pictures. It takes time. They lead up to this stuff. They don't just say, okay, today's the first day I'm gonna have some, rape of you, and I'm gonna record it. It doesn't work that way. It's slow and it's methodical. They're indoctrinating the child. They're normalizing the abuse to the child, and then when they're comfortable, that's when the cameras and the stuff like that come into play. But let's keep going.
you shouldn't. It's not anything you could have done. I know.
I'm happy. He better be happy. I can't say that on air. So anyways.
I know. I feel the same way as you. I can't say anything. All I could say is all three of them were in the room together. Was it because Maddie didn't have a room, or did she have her own room and they were all just hanging out in one room?
So they were just hanging out in one room. Everybody had a room. Jen. So in the condo, it's a 4-bedroom condo. You have 2 masters,
right.
One on the bottom floor, one on the top.
That is a big condo. 4-bedroom, 2 master bedrooms. All right, go ahead.
So there's 3 bedrooms upstairs and 1 bedroom downstairs. And Jen had the master bedroom upstairs. I had a room, and Maddie had a room. And then Jen's dad had the master bedroom downstairs one. And so he would occupy the living room. Rightfully so. It's his house, right? So they would usually hang out there because.
Okay, so that's interesting, because I thought that the condo belonged to Jenn Soto, but it looks like the condo belongs to her father. So let's keep going.
He's a movie guy. He would watch movies and TV shows and things like that. So he'd often occupy the living room. So that's why they would be in Jen's room.
Understood. Now, the only thing I could input for you on that is somebody said something to me. They gave me an answer and said, "Oh, that's normal for kids to want to hang out with their parents." True, but that was not her parent, and it was a new-ish boyfriend that was just coming into the house.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's what I want to add to that. That's not something that is normal to me.
No.
If I was dating, I'm married, but if I was dating someone and I had a girl or a boy, I would not be hanging out in the room with all 3 of us like that for a very long time.
Yeah.
So he wasn't a parent. Let's clear that up, right?
Right. Correct. No, absolutely not. I would not either. I don't. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. So no, he was not a parent in any way, shape, or form. He wasn't living there at that time at all. He like I told you before, he maybe had a couple of drawers, and I didn't hang out with him, super often. But that's what they would hang out, because Maddie's dad, Jen's dad had the downstairs in the living room, and Maddie would hang out wherever she wanted to, whether it was downstairs with her grandpa or with her mom or in her room. During that time, she wouldn't always hang out with them, either with me. If I was there, I'd go hang out with her, and we'd color and do some arts and crafts, or, fly a drone or something like that. But she'd hang out wherever she wanted to.
How was her demeanor with you when she was with you? Was she like smiley and happy and kind of like
this is the last thing, the last exchange, and then I'm not gonna listen no more, because I don't want to jack her content without speaking to her and getting her permission. So let's keep going.
My daughter's like that. She's very
absolutely.
Very huggy and sweet. Was she like that with you back then?
Absolutely. Yeah. Maddie and I had a great relationship. I love kids. I have children myself, and they are the most beautiful people in my life, and so I get along with them well, and kids genuinely like me. I believe they can tell if you're a good or bad person right away. So
Right.
I we hung out, and I did things that she wanted to do because I don't do a lot of childish things.
Right.
If I play video games, it's like Zelda. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not.
All right, cool. All right, go ahead. Let me bring it back to me, guys. All right, so if you want to watch the remainder of that, please go over to her channel and show her that love. Definitely good content. Appreciate that. That's a good get. We got a lot of people who were bringing in ex-friends of Stephen Stern, but not many people were bringing guests and who knew Jenn Soto. So that's really important because I think Jenn Soto is a person we really need to be paying attention to. Um, Stephen Stern, his goose is cooked. All right. At the end of the day, even if they never charged him with murder, which would have been a travesty because we want closure, etc., they never charged him with murder. He would have been spending the rest of his life in prison based off of the production of the child pornography. But they do have him on the murder, dead to rights, so he will be probably facing the death penalty for that. And they have him dead to rights on the CP and the abuse of the child before she expired. So he's dead to rights. The person we need to be looking at is Jenn Soto. And we're not getting enough cooperation from her. She's not talking. She's not explaining to us how it was that her daughter could have been abused without her knowing. I think the people have a right to know because your child belongs to all of us. And I've said that before. Children are the future of the human race. They're the future of our society. They belong to all of us. That's why if you treat your children bad, we have the power to come and take your children away from you. If children were solely your property, then we would not have the authority and the ability in our society, at least, to go and remove your children with child protective services, etc. All right. Even though some of those services are not always the best thing for the children, we're human, so we're going to make mistakes. But we have that power because your children belong to all of us. All right. They're our kids. And her actions or her lack of action resulted in us losing one of our children collectively, one of society's children, a future member of the human race, a female who could now produce more humans. We could go primal if you want. We could take it back to the law of the jungle. Females are more valuable than males in the laws of the jungle. Why? Because females can reproduce. Her actions and the actions of Stephen Stern stole from us a potential person who could have changed the world. And so she has an obligation to explain to us how she didn't know. So maybe if she was cooperating, she was talking, because my understanding, she's not even really cooperating with the police anymore like that. That's my understanding. But if that was the case, right, let's say she cooperated and she came forward, she did some interviews, she explained to us, listen, I'm a single mother. Yes, the father was in the life, but he wasn't doing as much as he could and da-da-da-da. And I had long-term goals, so I was working 16 hours a day. I was working 16 hours a day. I wasn't home. And, I told you, or rather I told the investigators and I told the cops that my daughter had anxiety and all that stuff, and she would want to sleep in the bed with other people. That's the only way she'd get a good night. And she brought us the doctor's notes and analysis that says the young lady, Madeline, suffered from this anxiety disorder, and this typically requires people to have comfort and be next to other people, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I still would say, shame on you for allowing her to be sleeping in the bed with your boyfriend, but at least the evidence would support what she's saying. And I'd say, okay, people make bad choices, bad decisions. I get it. I'm going to lay off of Jenn Soto, but she's not talking. She's not talking, so I don't got that information. So I think she's guilty. Something. It is what it is. Anyway, we're going to shift gears and we're going to talk about this tragedy, absolute tragedy that happened in Renton. So let me cue you guys in. The 17-year-old male killed the mother and two daughters And I'm gonna tell you why the family pissed me off, even though they shouldn't have pissed me off. I'm being an a-hole, but they pissed me off. Let's do it.
Suspect accused of killing 4 people and injuring 2 others in a Renton crash had his bail reduced today by 90%. Several community members took to social media to share their concerns about the decision. Thanks for being here at 7 o'clock. I'm Joyce Taylor.
I'm Greg Copeland. His bond was originally set at $1 million, but when the suspect made his first court appearance yesterday, the judge reduced it to just $100,000. King 5's Connor Board shares why the judge made that decision.
I'm aware these sort of trials can last for a really long time. His arms and legs will heal, and he'll be basically free after release, after allegedly killing 4 people. And that doesn't seem right to me.
The parents of 12-year-old Buster Brown, as well as the parents of 12 and 13-year-old Matilda and Eloise Wilcoxon, say they want 18-year-old Chase.
So I'm sorry. So that's 3 kids that he killed. 3 kids under the age of 15 that he killed, and a woman.
Jones to heal and grow, but they also say he needs to be held accountable for the crash that killed their children and 38-year-old Andrea Hudson.
I don't understand these people. You know, you're going to hear more of this mumbo jumbo. I forgive him. Da, 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 da. These people must be some really good Christian efforts, because it's okay to want vengeance, ladies and gentlemen. Like, we seem to have this notion, especially religious people, that asking for vengeance is bad. Like, vengeance is not bad. All right. The whole first part of the Bible, the Old Testament, is all about God seeking vengeance. Period. It's all about vengeance. Vengeance is not bad. All right. Now, if you're seeking vengeance against innocent people, that's a problem. All right. You can't really seek vengeance against innocent people because there's nothing to be to get revenge for. They didn't do anything to you. But when somebody does something wrong to you, it's okay to want retribution. It's okay to want vengeance. You don't got to say, oh, you know, I forgive him and I want him to heal. Fuck his healing. Look what he did. He killed 3 children and a mother. Screw him. And it wasn't an accident. He had been in 2 prior accidents where he was going over 100 miles an hour. 2 prior within 6 months. The 3rd time, he ended up killing innocent people. He's a sick bastard. He needs to rot in jail. And so I was like, what caught my eyes, this popped up in my feed, and I'm like, why did the judge give him a $100,000 bail? I'll tell you why. It's not a miscarriage of justice. It's because all of these victims' families coming on here with that mumbo jumbo bullshit, talking about they forgive them. If I'm the judge, I'm not keeping them in jail if you telling me you forgive them. I'll let them go. That's what you want, right? Is your loved ones that's dead, I'll let them go. Let's keep going.
I want the best for Chase, and I also want the best for the safety of our community.
Jones appeared in court yesterday from his hospital bed. He's accused of driving more than 100 miles an hour and running a red light before crashing into a minivan and killing 4 people and injuring 2 others inside.
Do you have a very serious concern about whether there will be future reckless or harmful behavior that will hurt other people?
King County Judge Johanna Binder reduced the original bail she set of $1 million to $100,000. Former Pierce County Judge Brian Tollefson says defendants have a right to post bail in most cases.
The only time that you don't grant pretrial release on personal recognizance is if there is a failure to appear or a likelihood of failure to appear, or there is a likelihood of interference with witnesses, or a likelihood that the person will commit a violent crime.
The judge in this case says she wants to give the suspect's family the opportunity to post bail so the parents can visit their son in the hospital. She also said due to the...
Right, your 18-year-old man, right? He's a grown-ass man. He needs his mommy and his daddy come see him, even though he stole the lives of babies. Of babies. Little itty-bitty children and a mother. And injured 2 other people. We don't even know the extent of their injuries. Now, I'm curious about this one that David is talking about the guy who who came angry and he drove across 3 lanes and he hit someone and killed his girlfriend and kid, and the bomb was dropped to 5,000. I gotta take a look at that one, but let's keep going.
Extent of his injuries, he is less of a safety risk, and she has no reason to believe he will not show up to court. Tollefson said judges must look at each case individually and have wide discretion with setting bail.
The court rule tells the judge that you aren't supposed to have any blanket policies, that you have to consider each pretrial release decision on a facts of that particular case that the judge is aware of and made aware of.
If Jones posts bail and is released from the hospital, he'll be put on electronic home monitoring, and he's forbidden from driving anything, including cars, bikes, and skateboards. In the newsroom, Connor Board, King 5 News.
Yeah, it's crazy.
New tonight, the teenager who was charged in the deadly crash that took the life of.
No worries. We're gonna watch a few videos. We are going to check. He was going 112 miles an hour, guys. 112.
New tonight, the teenager who was charged in the deadly crash that took the life of a mother and 3 children in Renton pleaded not guilty today.
18-year-old Chase Jones made that plea from his hospital bed, still recovering from the injuries he suffered in the crash last month. He also faced the families of the 3 children killed, just 12 and 13 years old. KOMO's Michelle Esteban has new video tonight of that high-speed crash, revealing just how fast it all happened. Michelle, prosecutors described it as incredibly violent.
They did indeed. He's accused of going well over 100 miles per hour, running a red light and never hitting the brakes. You can see for yourself, it happened in an instant.
It is the moment that has changed families forever. It's what prosecutors allege 112 miles per hour looks like. Wow. It's so fast you barely see Chase Jones's vehicle come from the right side of your screen and plow right into a van full of children.
Jesus
4
Christ.
dead, including 3 children.
Mr. Jones, you have been charged in count 1.
The 18-year-old accused appeared by video conference from his hospital bed, reacting to the charges and the parents of the 3 children killed.
I'm a little concerned and shocked that there has been to my knowledge, no attempt to reach out to us.
Right. His parents haven't even tried to reach out to him. And to the family, like even through the district attorney, to say they apologize. And that's standard practice. Like nobody from his family side is saying they give 2 shits about any of the people who are dead or injured. Yet these people are saying they forgive him. I don't want to be that kind of person. Maybe they're better people than me. God bless them. Maybe there is a space for them in the pearly gates. And I ain't there yet because I have not risen to the level of sanctimony of these people. But I'm sorry. I don't want to be like them. If somebody does that to my family, I want that person to die. I want that person to rot in prison. I want that person to get raped in prison. I want that person to get tortured by the Bloods and the Crips and stabbed up and cut and menaced for the rest of their freaking life. I don't want to forgive them. All right. And if I do end up forgiving them, that'll be many, 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 many years down the road with tons and tons of psychological help and assistance to get me to that point. Those children aren't even decaying yet. And these people already forgive these folks. Well, you know, I don't judge them. I'm not trying to say they're bad people. I'm just saying that they're better people than me.
With the Browns or Hudsons with any kind of message of sympathy or regret.
Last week, we told you the teen has been linked to other crashes. The deputy prosecutor told the judge Jones totaled 3 cars in 11 months.
There is evidence that this defendant has been driving at an excessive speeds and totaled 2 vehicles before this collision.
The first crash last May in Kent on police body cam. Jones admitted to speeding after broadsiding a car and crashing into a fence. And now this new police body cam video from January. You hear Jones admit to police he rear-ended a car, and the driver questioned Jones's speed.
You didn't see him? I don't know, too fast. I see that, but too fast.
Jones's attorney told the court he's not stealing cars, having a gun, or intentionally trying to commit a violent crime.
No, he's just driving a 3,000, 5,000 pound missile and killing people. And his parents are enablers because they keep buying him a new car. and you expect these folks to say sorry for your loved ones? Of course not. They don't give a damn. Where do you think he got that lack of accountability from? From his demon-ass parents. Look at this dude. Look at him. He's pissed off that he got caught. He's going to end up saying it was their fault. He's going to end up saying, oh, the accelerator pedal got stuck. It wasn't my fault. He's not going to take no accountability for what he did. Unbelievable.
This is an allegation in which my client may have made a dumb mistake in driving above the speed limit. That's the allegation.
I don't think that this was just a dumb mistake.
He pleaded not guilty to 7 counts, including 4 counts of vehicular homicide. Bail was reduced to $100,000, and he is not permitted to drive. The parents of the victims told the judge they don't hate him, but they want accountability. Reporting live, I'm Michelle Esteban. Back to you.
All right. You're going to see a lot of these folks talking out both sides of their mouth. I'm going to read the article.
New video into our newsroom tonight. We have just received surveillance video that shows the deadly Renton crash that claimed the lives of 4 people last week. We will not be showing it in its entirety. And you can see here the silver van at the intersection. Andrea Hudson and 5 children were inside. Moments later, police say suspect Chase Jones comes speeding in. The video shows that car go through the red light before T-boning the minivan. Court documents state Jones was going 112 miles per hour.
Yeah, court documents say Chase Jones was driving at 112 miles an hour when he ran that red light, hit the van, and killed a mother and 3 children. But police say he also totaled a car in January, and he totaled another car back in May. That's the video you're about to see. Jones was driving. And you'll hear a police officer give him a warning about his speed.
And who was driving this one? Were you by yourself?
This is Chase Jones, 17 at the time, and driving his family's Tahoe down 204th Street in Kent when he broadsided this car as it turned into the road. His parents came to the scene as police began to sort out what happened.
You were driving? Yes, sir. Okay. Driver's license, registration, insurance.
The driver who Jones hit told police this.
By the time I got out there, there was just a pair of lights, and they were going so fast.
It's coming off 103rd, and this guy just high rate of speed.
Chase also fessed up to his high speeds.
I saw an open road. I was definitely going above speed limit of 25. I don't have the money. I'm not sure. I was not looking. If you had to guess. 40, 50.
Cops say Chase was again driving at more than double the limit last week before this crash. According to charging documents, the data from Jones's Audi showed he was speeding through the red light at 112 miles per hour at full throttle without braking. The violent crash took the lives of Andrea Smith Hudson.
You really got to be a sick mother effer to do some crap like that.
13-year-old Matilda Wilcoxon, 12-year-old Eloise Wilcoxon, and 12-year-old Boyd Buster Brown. Damn. Their families have offered forgiveness.
God loves him, and we want the best for him.
But 18-year-old Chase Jones will
some bullshit, man.
Now have to face accountability in court for this crash, less than a year after this warning from a Kent police officer.
Mistake. Things happen. Lessons to learn. As long as you learn it, right?
Nobody's hurt.
Right.
These are cars.
Right. Because they're cars. Yeah, all right. Somebody's ended up dead now. What's happening with my video? I have no video now. Let's see what's happening here. And I'm keeping you on this one. But I need to see if we could fix the video. So camera. What we got already in live. Okay. Okay. We seem to have some issues here. All right, well, the camera's dead. It's all good. So we got to rock out like this. I'm sure you guys can still hear me. Unfortunately, we do have an issue with technical issue with the camera. All right, I want to go ahead and bring one more video with you guys. This one was kind of crazy. This one is Sephora. And this young lady is a perfect example of what happens when you lack accountability. So she went to Sephora and she stole. She got caught. The police explained to her that they had to arrest her. And that's when things kind of went crazy because she's alleging that she can't go to college now that she got arrested because she already had an open case for doing something already. And this is kind of how it played out.
Wait, so we can't just pay for it?
No, that's not an option.
You have to get
When did we have that option?
You have to get mom or
To pay
dad
for the product.
to pick you up,
And then you chose to stay on set, remember?
or else you're gonna go down to DH.
No, I'm not.
What?
No, I'm not.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
I mean, you will. That's literally what's gonna happen. I'm
I mean,
telling you.
do you hear that lack of accountability and the delusion that this girl is not mentally ill? This is the mentality of many people that you find in poverty who lack educations, lack strong parents, lack fathers in their homes. This is the mentality that you get. She says, no, I'm not. She says, I'm not. I'm not going to county. As though she has some type of power and authority to stop this from happening. Let's keep going. And she says, I'm also interested. She said, can't we just pay for it? Well, you should have paid for it from the beginning. So now that you got caught, now you want to offer to pay for something that you should have had the common sense to want to pay for it in the first place. Unbelievable. Let's keep going.
You have to
I'm being straight
drag
up.
me into the car.
Yeah, you're under arrest.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
Yes, you are.
You're under arrest right now.
You are, we are pressing charges.
You can press charges, but...
Stand up and put your hands behind your back, Jasmine. Yeah, you're going in cuffs.
No.
Stand up.
Set your phone down.
This isn't a game.
You're under arrest for theft.
No, if you touch me.
Then you're going to get charged with obstruction at the very least.
We're trying to be
then you
nice
can
to
touch me. Try touching me.
I mean, you're going to be arrested. There's no way around this.
So please comply.
You're either going to catch another charge, which will make this a lot more complex in your court proceeding, or you can be a responsible adult and speak with us, talk with us, do what we need to do so we can get you out of here, and then that will look a lot better when you do have your court date. But you are under arrest.
So why?
Because you stole stuff.
We didn't even get like 20 feet away from the store.
That's semantics. That's not up for...
Look how stupid that is. She said we didn't even get 20 feet away from the store. When I first heard that, I was like, let me replay that back. Because maybe did she say we didn't get 20 feet out of the store? Because she might have a point there. Because you got to pass all points of sale to be considered a thief, right? You don't have to necessarily leave the store. You just have to pass where the cash wrap is, where the registers are, right? So once you pass where the registers are, you've considered having stole items from a store. You don't even have to leave the store. You just have to pass the registers, right? She said, I didn't even get more than 20 feet away from the store. Means she left the doors and was walking outside of the store. And then she says, and I willingly came back with loss prevention. Like she did us a big favor. Well, maybe she did do a favor. I mean, based off of her actions in a little bit, maybe she could have fought, ran the whole nine. But like she really thinks that she should not be in trouble right now and she should be allowed to pay for what she should have paid for from the beginning. Let's keep going.
That's not...
But we didn't get 20 feet away. I already have a past charge. If I get another one, I won't go to college. So I'm not doing this shit.
You resisting is gonna be a lot worse.
I'm not doing this shit. I want to pay for it.
It's not up for...
You just want to see me lose. So
No, sweetheart. See the blaming, the lack of accountability. You just want to see me lose. No. You want to see yourself lose. You want to see yourself lose. You keep putting yourself in this situation. You decided to steal like Aki said. You made the choice. He was eating a donut. He was on a different call. He didn't even know you existed until you put yourself in the purview of this police officers, in the purview of these loss prevention associates. You did that. Let's keep going.
Unfortunately, I have to do right now.
We're trying to help you, actually.
No, you're not.
Yeah, they are.
Arrest.
Oh
You're not
boy.
helping at all.
Whether or not you catch another charge for resisting is on you.
No, because if I get another charge, I'm not going to college. What you guys not understand about that?
You are under arrest for theft right
So
now.
what?
First of all, you should have known that before you went in there and stole. You should have known that. You should have thought about the consequences of your actions before you decided to go in there and steal. You should have said, "Oh man, if I steal again, I get another case, I'm not going to college." Now I don't even know how that works. Because the only thing colleges ask you is if you've been convicted of a drug crime, because you can't get federal student aid if you've been convicted of a drug crime. Other than that, no college is giving you a background check. They don't care. Let's keep going.
What do you guys not understand about that?
What do you not understand about it?
This is just, you're going to have to go to court and deal with this and speak to a judge about it. I know you don't want to, but your actions caused this. My actions didn't cause this. This officer's actions didn't cause this. Your actions today caused this. And now you have to deal with the consequences. I mean, you are. We're trying to be nice about it right now.
No.
I mean, you are. I'm telling you right now, you are.
No.
Okay, there's no way around it. We're trying to be civil about this and give you an opportunity to comply.
Funny thing is, this is her friend right here. She's also being accused of stealing, and she's not doing all of that. She's very calm and collected. She's just accepting responsibility for what happened. She is acting a fool. Let's keep going.
Y'all have to be.
Well, listen, Jasmine. If I try to put these on you and you fight us,
You have to beat.
well, listen to me.
You would have to beat the shit out of me.
All right, so I gotta tell you how incredibly patient these cops are, because I would have already put her in cuffs. Big shout out to David, $20 super chat, said great live, but it's bedtime for this night shifter. To all right, brother, have a good one. Have a safe shift. Make sure you get your rest so you're not tired while you're out there doing what you do. Appreciate your continued support and love, man. And once again, thank you so much for that $20 super chat. You are the man. You are appreciated, David. Yeah, great. But guys, the moment she start going, and you guys can't see me pointing because my video is out, I apologize for that. But the moment that hand goes up and she's like, "You guys gonna have to beat the crap out of him," you know what I'm gonna do? I'm trained. I don't know about these cops, but that's aggression. And before she finished her sentence, I'm going to shock her by immediately grabbing her hand and guiding her to the ground. Because I don't know if the next step is she's going to attack me. She's already showed me that she's non-cooperative and she's aggressive. So I would immediately use force on her and get her into handcuffs. Because these cops have been more than patient. They have been more than patient with this young woman. Big shout out to Red Zone Watch for this video, by the way. More than patient. Let's see what happens.
No! Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
All right, so we'll stop it here because I don't want YouTube to restrict the video for no reason. All right, now we're going to talk about the Trumpster, and then we're going to get out of here because I got some things I need to do too. I got to fix my truck. We're going to talk about the Trumpster. I got to try and fix my truck at least. So with the truck, I wanted to change. It has a sealed transmission, and my truck started downshifting or whatever. And when I looked it up, one of the solenoids probably was clogged up. So I needed to take off the oil pan of the transmission. And inside of the oil pan is where you can find the shifters, the solenoid shifters. And I needed to change the shifter. Unfortunately, those Toyotas, they rust a lot, unfortunately. So when I tried to take off the oil pan, a number of bolts stripped. Not even stripped, like the heads broke off. So I got to find a way to drill out these bolts so I could get the oil pan off so that I can now change the solenoid and then, I don't know, try and get the oil pan back on, I guess. It is what it is. So it's a pain in the ass. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a pain in the ass. But I got to do what I got to do. So I've just let the truck sit there. It's been sitting there for months now at this point, up on the lift in my driveway for like at least 3 months. I haven't driven the truck rather. So there's only two options. Either A, I fill the transmission oil back up into the oil pan because it hasn't come off yet. And then I drive it to a mechanic and let them work on getting the oil pan off. It's going to cost me some money, or I find a way to drill out those bolts, get the oil pan on, off, etc. Whatever. That's beside the point. We're going to talk about the Trumpster. Let me just get a picture of Trump up so you guys don't see this strategic eyes circle while I talk. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So, like I told you guys, I'm planning on voting for Trump as of now. I say as of now because things can change. We don't know what will happen between now and election. And I think everybody should be willing to change their mind if they need to when it comes to politicians. But right now, I am voting for Trump. And some of the things that came out that kind of not irked me, but it's like, there's so much misinformation out there. Your recent, okay, cool. Sorry. I just wanted to correct the record. So number one, I think it's terrible when somebody who is not a Republican says that they're gonna vote for Trump, and then you have people who will come up and they'll say, "Oh, now you want to vote for Trump?" It kind of like shame you. They want to shame you, and it's like, dude, you should freaking be happy. You know what I'm saying? That a person is willing to change their mind. Let me bring this up. Let me hold on here. I want to go and pull this video up so I can go to the comment section and we could talk about that. I want to see if I can find this comment by this guy. So there's two comments I really want to address from that video. We'll start with the first one. This one kind of irked me. So here we go. The guy says, "You voted for this. Trump can't save you now. When it was good times under Trump, you wanted Biden." First of all these knuckleheads assume, and I was kind of harsh with this guy. Maybe I shouldn't have been so harsh with him. But all these knuckleheads assume that you had to vote for Biden. I never wanted Biden. I didn't vote for Biden. I voted for Bernie. And then when I saw how they did Bernie dirty, I didn't vote for Biden. But the assumption from a lot of conservatives is, you voted for this. No, not every single person who is liberal or centrist or Democratic or Green Party, whatever, voted for Biden. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Let's be serious here, okay? The fact that this dude is over here kind of throwing it in my face like, see, you I didn't do shit. Okay? And I'm sure the people who voted for Biden, I'm sure they didn't do shit either. They didn't expect Biden to open up the borders. They didn't expect them. Okay? People saying that I didn't have to tell anybody who I'm voting for. No, I don't want to say I'm a public figure, but I'm a YouTuber. So this is what I do. So naturally, for you guys, whoever you want to vote for is your business, but I'm a content creator. And this is important because we talk about politics on this show and we talk about the policies that are hurting America. So it is relevant who I'm voting for because it's a part of the platform. So yeah, I'm with you. I agree with you. Voting is a very personal thing. But when you're somebody who is basically putting your beliefs out there like I do, like all YouTubers do, it becomes relevant, right? So I think that was really retarded. And I think that a lot of conservative folks who kind of think that way, you got to change the way you're thinking, okay? Because when you see Democrats, centrists coming into the fold, you should embrace them. You should not try and shame them. Another thing that was said that kind of I felt was bad information. This one came from Zozo Bob, longtime subscriber and supporter of the show. We love Zozo Bob. But Zozo Bob said, "It's kind of funny you are voting for Trump, who promised us a wall and never got it built." I think that's disingenuous because Trump faced a lot of pushback for that wall. And Congress did everything they could possibly do Democrats rather, to call that wall racist and to slow down its construction. And a lot of wall was built. Could Trump have done a better job? Maybe. Absolutely. People could always do better. But I think it's disingenuous to say, oh, he didn't give us the wall he promised. All right, it is what it is. But you know what's happening to the wall right now? Biden is selling off the steel and the machinery and the construction material that was bought and allocated for the wall. Guess what he's doing? He's selling that off right now. He's selling that below market to companies so they won't build the wall. So let's keep going. Then Zozobot continues to say, Congress had a bipartisan bill on immigration earlier this year, and Trump told his GOP caucus in the House not to pass it because he wanted to use it as a campaign issue for the November election. Listen, that's politics. I don't agree with it. I think it was not good. There's a little bit more to it, but I'll say this. We wouldn't have to have had a bipartisan bill to address immigration, the immigration crisis that we have now, if Biden did not rescind every single executive order that Trump put in place in regards to immigration, which resulted in the crisis that we have now. If Biden kept going, the executive orders that Trump put in place, the Remain in Mexico order and all the other things, and the COVID era order and all the different stuff that Trump was using to slow immigration, if he kept those in place, we would not have an immigration problem to need a bipartisan bill. So keep that in mind. What's the last thing that Zozo Bob says? He never solved the immigration issue besides his rhetoric, and sadly, you are still falling for his lies. You are bewildering. That's Zozo Bob's point of view. I don't take it personally. It's all good. I love Zozo Bob. We keep it moving. He never solved the immigration issue. No Democratic or Republican president has ever solved the immigration issue. In fact, one of the biggest band-aids that was ever put on immigration was from a Republican president, namely, what's his name? I can't believe I forgot his name. The dude was an actor. What was his name? I just had his name at the top of my head and then it escaped me. But whatever. He did amnesty. Ronald Reagan. He did amnesty for everybody, which wasn't a solution. It was just a Band-Aid. Nobody could figure it out. But you know what Trump did? He did come up with executive orders that pretty much slowed and stopped immigration. One of those executive orders was the Remain in Mexico policy, or go to your next country and file asylum there. It pretty much solved our immigration issue. Another thing he did was use COVID powers to say that, we can't let these folks in because of the coronavirus. So now we weren't allowing people to come in because of corona. And if you wanted to claim asylum, you could not skip over 20 great countries before coming to America. These people are basically shopping for what country they want to stay in. Well, you know what? I'm just going to go to America. Screw it. But then you pass over Peru, you pass over, Panama, you pass over all these countries that are having excellent economies, safety, that share your language, share your culture, share your religion, share all those things. Devoutly Catholic countries. You pass over all of them to come to America, to claim asylum, even though you would have been safe in Peru, you would have been safe in Brazil, you would have been safe in Panama. You would have been safe in all these different countries. South America is not a big bowl of shit, ladies and gentlemen. There are a lot of great countries in South America that's doing just fine. There are a lot of great countries that have nice economies, nice tourism, safe for anybody who visits, safe for the people who live there. Cops that aren't corrupt, governments that aren't corrupt. There's a ton of them. Trump said you had to go to those countries first before you came to America. Chris Dry made a good point. What I should have said is they're shopping for free benefits. But the thing is, you get more benefits if you come to America. Because Peru and Panama, they're not going to put you in their 4-star hotels when you come up to their country. They're not going to say, yeah, you don't work. Just stay in this hotel and we'll just give you free everything, free healthcare, free money, free clothing, free school supplies, free everything. You go outside the Row Hotel, you go outside the Roosevelt Hotel, you go outside those are just the two major reception centers. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of other hotels in New York that these people stay in. You go outside of it, you see dozens of bikes that cost between $5,000 and $10,000. Where are they getting that money from? I thought about getting a motorcycle for me to commute in. I couldn't afford it. I was like, I can't afford $15,000, $10,000 for a bike. Yeah, it might save me some money, but number one, they're dangerous. But number two, look how much money that is. These people coming to the country the next day, they got this. This lady said she's going back to her country. They said, how much did you pay to come to America? She said $25,000. If they're so poor in Nicaragua, how the hell you got $25,000? How the hell you was able to save up $25,000 to come to America, and then you're here for 4 months? You was like, it's not what I thought it was. I'm going back home. You kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Wow. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. And these are the folks who are claiming asylum because, you know, when they come over the border and you interview them, they say, well, you know, I was looking for a job and better opportunities. And then after the NGOs and all those folks get a hold of them, oh, yeah, you know, people are trying to kill me in my country. Who's the people? I don't know, but they definitely trying to kill me. I woke up one night and they were standing over me and said, if you don't go to America by tomorrow, we're going to kill you. Right. Right. Yeah. We believe that bullshit. Only those bleeding heart, purple-haired liberals that get paid by George Soros to bring all these immigrants into this country, they're the only ones that believe in that bullshit, because I certainly do not. I don't. So anyway, listen, you vote for who you want to vote for, all right? At this point in time in my life, the most important thing to me is inflation, immigration, and the economy. And of course, inflation is tied in with the economy. But right now, they seem like two separate things, man. That's plaguing us. The cost for goods and services is ridiculous right now because of inflation. And the immigrant situation, it affects me. My government agencies have cut back on overtime because of the budget, because of all the stuff that's happened with the immigrants and all that stuff. It has affected my ability to make money. It has affected my ability to do business in the small business that I had. It is what it is. And I find it unfair. I find it unfair that with the immigrants that existed in my family, we had to spend thousands of dollars to make them U.S. citizens. And now people can just come into this country and claim asylum, and now they just de facto citizens. We covered on this channel how, I think I did it for the members only, so if you didn't hear it on the main channel, maybe you did, maybe you did. I don't remember if it was only for the members, but my mind is telling me it's for the members only. I explained what the Biden administration is doing by making them dismiss asylum cases without even hearing them. They have dismissed thousands, tens of thousands of asylum cases. That does not give them asylum status. It actually puts them in a limbo where they can't work, they can't do anything, but they don't have a case that's going to get them deported. And what's going to end up happening is they're going to come back and say, well, we got all these people who are in limbo, we got to give them citizenship. But they're not even hearing the cases. They're instructing the Justice Department to dismiss these immigration cases, to just say, we're not moving forward. They didn't win, they didn't lose, they just dismissed, they're just in limbo. Where are those people going to go? Back to the Row Hotel, back to the Roosevelt Hotel, so that the taxpayers can pay for them. Because now they definitely can't work. They can't work, they can't get deported, they're just in this limbo. And I'll end this video by reading you a message that an immigrant sent me about immigration and about me deciding to vote for the Trumpster. So this person, I can't, says Hi-Fi Studded or something like that is their name. It says, I'm a brown legal immigrant of 15 years since 23 years old. Came for higher studies, mortgaging my living house back home. So he mortgaged his home in his home country so that he could afford to come here and go to a university. He said he's waiting in line for his green card. Still have about 20 more years to go. Plus, my immigration status is based on my job and have only 60 days to look for another one. If I lose one, I have to go if not able to find one. So if he loses his job and he can't find another job within 60 days, he has to turn himself in and self-deport back to his home country. He paid so much money for all the forms and fees. An education loan in my country repaid it. And people coming here and getting to stay for a year, not to forget free stuff. I cannot afford a house, a single income, no kids, supporting parents. Still, I am thankful for U.S. for providing livelihood, and I won't burn the U.S. flag. I haven't even received a simple traffic ticket. Mind you, these folks are out here beating up our cops and shooting people and having gunfights with our cops and robbing people on mopeds. That's what these Venezuelans are doing. Look at this immigrant. He's working his ass off staying out of trouble. Back to his statement. Now it's becoming more of a curse to be a legal immigrant. I know all vote bank. Remember, this guy's English is a second language, so excuse me if this sounds crazy. I know all vote bank politics happen in third world. See what the left is doing. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. Also, I have spent my childhood in rationing lines and don't want to do it in my adulthood thanks to the crazy spending. So he's saying that the economy is trash over here, and it's reminding him of when he was a kid and he had to stand in rationing food lines to eat. Back to his statement. Please note, I was offered a U.S. Marine Corps engineering job offer in 2009, but I didn't take it since I didn't want to go overseas and fight a proxy war back then, else I could have been a citizen in a year. Right. So he was offered the opportunity, I think it's self-explanatory, to go serve in our military as an engineer because he's obviously a very learned individual, and he chose not to because he didn't want to go fight in a war. And that's understandable because he's not wrong. We have been fighting proxy wars for a long time now. That's how immigrants feel who are here legally. When they see these folks coming in and getting all these benefits, but they haven't even put the time, the energy, and the work in to do it. That's how I feel as a son of immigrants, well, of one immigrant. My father was a citizen who had to fix my mother and go through the process of getting her papers done, paying thousands of dollars to make her a citizen. How do you think I feel? How do you think she feels? And that situation was mixed in with DV because my father brought my mother to America and was using that to control her. Using that to keep her in her place, purposely not making her a citizen, having American children with her, purposely not keeping her as a citizen so she could not support herself, so she could not work, so she could stay under his abusive authority. And what did she do? Broke free from it, sent him on his way, worked, supported herself, opened up a small business, made money to support her children, stayed out of trouble, and then her children now fix her. We got to spend tens of thousands of dollars to do it. But you could just come here as an economic tourist. Because some of them are coming here like, oh, I don't like it in America, I'm going back. They're tourists. They're not even migrants. You can come over here as an economic tourist, economic migrant, whatever you want to say. You come over here and you simply say asylum, you get all that and more for free. When my family and that man's who's in the comment section have to go through so much hardship, so much economical turmoil in order to get to that point, you just come over here, you say asylum, you get it for free. Well, yeah, Immigration is my issue. Inflation is my issue, and the economy is my issue. And I think that Trump, based off of his track record when he was in office, is better geared towards stimulating this economy, reinvigorating this economy, and getting us back on track. Do I agree with everything that's in his politics? No. Did I say I was going to vote for all blue straight down the line? Absolutely not. I might have to balance it by looking at Democrats and independents and third-party people who agree with other things that I agree with and put them in office to be a check on him. That might be what I have to do. Or I might look at all the candidates in my region that I'm capable of voting for, and they might all be Republican, and I might agree with them and decide to vote for all of them into office. Or all of them might be Democrats or centrists or independents, and I might vote for all of them and only vote for Trump as a Republican candidate. I don't know. That's why it's called research. Researching your candidates and making sure you understand what they stand for before you go to the ballot box. I'm not saying I am a Republican, and I am not saying I am going to vote Republican. I'm saying I'm going to vote Trump. And if you disagree with Trump, that's okay. You're not a bad person in my eyes. You're not a loser. You're not an asshole. You're not a whatever. You're not a fascist. You're not a commie. You're not whatever. You may agree with the policies of Biden. That's okay. It's called democracy. Vote for Biden. Go for it. I don't agree with his policy, so I'm not voting for him. And I'm not going to shame anybody for deciding that they're going to vote for him. And I just don't think it's fair to shame somebody for voting for who they believe in. I've been around for over 40 years, and this is where I'm at. I've given the Democratic Party my vote every year, every time, for 95% of my life. The only time I voted Republican in my life was when I voted for Lee Zeldin and 2 Congress people and like 1 judge during that one election year. That's the only time. And I got to say, I wasted my entire life voting for a party that really does not care about me. When I was a young, poor, African-American male in the depths of the hood, the Democratic Party didn't give 2 shits about me. They did not. I got to take this call. Give me a second. I'm sorry. Like I said, when I was a young, poor, African-American male in the hood, the Democratic Party didn't give a shit about me. They didn't care. When Bill Clinton teamed up with the Republicans and they cut welfare, and at the time, my family was on welfare for a very short period of time, those were the most challenging times of my life, ladies and gentlemen. We went from having food in our fridge to nothing. We the amount of money we got from welfare only covered 2 weeks of eating. Bill Clinton cut and Newt Gingrich cut welfare so hard, we were devastated. That was a Democrat that did that. TNT Cycles in the building. You are not blocked on my end. I don't know what's going on. And I see your comments now. So Google might be blocking you because Google also does its own moderation with their bots. We escaped poverty through hard work, through education. Now that I am a middle-class man, all right? I don't like to toot my own horn, but hard work is hard work. Middle-class adult with a middle-class family. The Democratic Party damn sure don't give shit about me now. They don't give a shit about me now. All they do is keep raising my taxes, and giving my money to people I don't even know. They're not giving my money to none of my friends who's still in the hood. They giving my money to migrants. They giving my money to wars. They giving my money to Israel. They giving my money to Hamas. They giving my money to Palestine, they give my money to Ukraine, they give my money to everybody but my neighbors and me. Look what they were doing in New York. Who do you think congestion pricing was going to hurt? It wasn't going to hurt poor people. They already have a program where they get a discount on subway passes. And of course, they don't have cars. It's going to hurt middle-class people who drive into the city to work every day. My whole life spent voting for Democrats and nothing to show for it. Nothing. Nothing to show for it. I'm tired. I'm tired. So I'm going to vote on the issues. I'm going to vote on feelings and emotions. I don't care. You know, everything has nuance. Donald Trump, first of all, I think that Biden is a complete racist. And I'm going to let you guys go in a second because I got to go. I got things I got to do. I can't spend my whole life on a live. It's been 2 hours already. But I'll give you an example, right? I think that Biden is a racist, okay? Based off of the statements that he's made in the past, the things that he's done in his past, the policies that he supported. The policies he supported that decimated the black community. The war on drugs and the crime bill. These two bills alone decimated poor black communities by basically incentivizing heavy-handed police presences and enforcement. Now, the war on drugs wasn't just laws that made you get punished very harshly if you got caught with drugs. It was a whole ecosystem that also funneled money into police departments for the enforcement of drugs. So because of the war on drugs, police departments receive hundreds of millions of dollars from the federal government to build up drug enforcement units, narco units, giving them fancy toys, fancy technologies to go out there and get drug dealers and people in the hood. And the truth of the matter is that those tools weren't used in the suburbs where people were selling drugs just as much as they were selling drugs in the hood. It's all about culture, right? So you have a cokehead in the hood, and because they're poor and they don't give a fuck, their bodies will start to deteriorate. They start to not care, all that stuff. You take the same cokehead, you put them in the suburbs, and they grow up in a culture where showing face is so important. That cokehead will maintain a job, maintain going to sports with the kids, but there's still a cokehead. And there's still a dealer up there who's supplying that cokehead with drugs. But that enforcement was not in those upstate communities. That enforcement was focused in inner city communities, which were primarily minority communities. All right, so it decimated those folks. Biden's policies hurt black people more than any policy that Trump has ever put into practice. Now, when we go to Trump, and the main thing that people say that makes Trump racist is the settlement he did with the Justice Department. Now, I remember when I first heard that, I said, wow, he was not renting to black people. That's messed up. That's racist. But when you do your research, you realize it's a little bit more nuanced to that. It's not that Donald Trump was not renting to black people and Spanish people. It's that Donald Trump and his father did not want to rent to welfare recipients. And the majority of the recipients, that the applications that they were getting that were welfare recipients, were minorities. So you got to even ask yourself, was he denying these folks because they were black and Latino? It's possible. I don't know what's in his heart. Maybe he really was racist. Or was he denying them because he did not want welfare recipients in his property? I don't know. But there's nuance there. And I think to some people that matters. Did he deny it because of the color of your skin, or did he deny it because of your economics? And I got to tell you, as somebody who has rented to people who have drug addictions, people who are on welfare, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. you might get somebody who will tear your place up. I've had people tear my place up because I gave them a chance. I don't fault any landlord who said, I don't want to take the chance, because I know the pain you have to go through when you get that bad tenant. And most often those bad tenants are people who have Section 8 or who are on welfare, etc. It's not all, but you're more likely to find somebody who's going to give you that problem when they're under these programs than if you find somebody who goes to a 9-to-5 every day and is paying you cash. It is what it is. All right. So W. Smith says they also turned it into crack and sold it for a quarter of the price. That's very, very true. And crack is much more detrimental to your health than cocaine. That's it, guys. That's all I got for you. You guys are awesome. I'm sorry that the video went out, but, we try over here. Technical difficulties do happen from time to time. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for the $20 super chat from David. You are the man, David. Great to see people like TNT Cycles in the building. U.S. Patriot Ladies in the building. Thank you so much. U.S. Patriot Ladies is a Strategic Eyes member. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Zozo Bob's in the building. Zozo Bob is also a moderator of the show, so we do appreciate everything you do for the show, Zozo Bob. Everybody who is participating. W. Smith, thanks for participating. Chris Dreyer participating. Other people participating. I appreciate you guys. Make sure that you become a member of the Strategic Eyes Show. I do drop exclusive content for people who are members of the Strategic Eyes Show, so you will get value, bang for your buck. You will get value and bang for your buck. Become a Strategic Eyes member. We have multiple tiers. The lowest tier, I think, is like $2.99 or $3.99, $4.99. I don't know. I forgot. But it's a little bit of money. So consider becoming a Strategic Eyes member. Support the channel. Support the movement. And you'll be rewarded with exclusive content. Also, we do have Strategic Eyes merchandise. Go over to the shop and get yourself some Strategic Eyes gear. We also have some new shirts. Some of it has Trump on it. I'm going to be dropping some shirts with Biden on it. We are equal opportunity over here. But, yo, you guys are awesome, man. You guys are awesome. I see you guys on the next one. Peace.